following with the agenda, we have Abby Sicaron. As I told you before, she's a UPEACE student from the previous cohort, and she's here to tell you her experience here in Costa Rica and at UPEACE. So please listen to Abby, and hope you will enjoy your time here. Thank you. ¿Sí? Ahí sentada, relajada.
Angela sent me a list.
Gracias.
Sí.
¿Necesita conectar algo ahí?
Hello. No.
¿Sí?
No,
Okay.
solo para ver.
Okay.
Para recordar tus preguntas.
Sí. Tómese su tiempo.
Okay, está bien. Hello. Oh, the microphone makes it so formal.
Abby speaks good Spanish.
Yeah. Oh, God.
She has practiced and she's very good at it. So
Thank you. Yeah, I can do a little translating, I guess. So I'm Abby from before. I use she, her, or they, them pronouns. I'm originally from Chicago in the U.S., but I've been living in Costa Rica since, oh God, it's been 2 years pretty much. I came here in 2021 as an undergraduate student studying abroad over the summer for just like a 5-week program. Loved the country, was ready to get out of the U.S. Yeah, wasn't planning on doing that, but was very much called here. I went back to the U.S., graduated college, and moved here full-time a month after graduation. And then found UPEACE a year into my living in Costa Rica, and yeah, came and studied just to get a master's. So I've been here a while. I have a lot of info about the country and being here as an expat. My partner is Costa Rican, so I've learned a lot about cultural differences and adjusting and learning and being open. And I speak Spanish at home. I don't speak English at home. So yeah, lots of adjustments. But I'll share a little bit about my experience, and then I'll afterwards definitely have time for questions if people have questions that they want to ask me. And then I know we'll have lunch too. I'll be here for lunch, so if people want to hang out and ask more informally, that's fine too. But yeah, so I was in the Peace Education program when I was at UPEACE. Is anyone in Peace Ed? Yay, good job. People will be really jealous very soon. It always happens, yeah. Anybody else? Oh, he's in Peace Ed, nice. Yeah, we're always small. And then usually people wish that they picked Peace Ed, I'm just saying. It's very fun. Best director, no offense to the others, but best director on campus of academic programs. So yeah, everyone else will get to know Stephanie and enjoy her as well. She's wonderful. But yeah, Peace Education was great. A little bit about my background. Other than moving here, I did a lot of like social justice work, big into abolition movements. I studied intergroup dialogue, political science. I work in intersections of education, so I tutor full-time. I've done different kinds of educational work. I worked in politics for a while, so I've moved around to different sectors, so if any of that kind of piques your interest, feel free to talk to me about that, and try to kind of find the intersections of my different interests. So now I kind of look on the border of education and policy and law and social justice and restorative justice and how those things intersect and can be used to kind of change the world, so it's very exciting. And UPEACE definitely helped me find the direction to bring all those things together instead of trying to like, separate them and move about. I did work full-time while I got my master's, so if anyone's in that situation or considering that situation or worried about finances or anything like that and wants to have a very honest conversation, I'm happy to talk about that. It was hard, but doable, and a lot of people did it and did it together. And a lot of people who weren't working, found ways to make ends meet or, survive or work together to have a sharing economy, which is beautiful too. Yeah, you'll learn quickly Costa Rica is not as affordable per se as some of its neighboring countries. It's an expensive place to be. So you'll keep that in mind as you continue to live here. And then in a few weeks I'm starting my internship. So I'm sure you've heard like at the end of your program you'll have to choose if you want to do a thesis or an internship or capstone. I'll be interning at United World College in Santa Ana, Costa Rica. It's like a high school, international high school. So I'll be helping them with some of their implementation of programming and creating some new programming for them in terms of like intercultural dialogue and intercultural conflict and helping young people like implement the kind of change they want to make in their daily lives amongst each other so that they can do that to the world too. So yeah, that's enough about myself. And then as for my experience here, in terms of just Costa Rica in general, you'll learn very quickly. How many of y'all have been to Costa Rica before? Okay, yeah, cool, awesome. It's an awesome country. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. I stayed. A lot of people ended up staying from last year too. They're still living here and choosing if they want to live here or do what they want to do. But a lot of people had a hard time leaving the country. It's a beautiful country, amazing people. Definitely embrace it and respect it and honor it and learn how to do all of those things. Try to learn the language if you don't already. I was impressed by how many of you speak so many languages. That was really amazing. So try to learn Spanish, even if it's just a little bit. But definitely take advantage of that while you're here. Practicing together. We used to do every Thursday at lunch, there was a group that just sat together and tried to speak Spanish the whole lunch instead of English. And then there was a group of Spanish students that would try to speak English with the English-speaking students and kind of a language exchange. But a lot of students now are kicking themselves who didn't take advantage of those things. I have peers still in our group chat that are regretting that they didn't take more advantage as they're getting into, trying to work in these international sectors. And as amazing as the master's degree is, it's still not competitive enough when you don't have other languages. And we're in a global system where a lot of people do speak 5 languages, as we saw, right? And so when you're competing with that and you only speak 1 or 2, it's no longer competitive. So take advantage while you're here, learn Spanish. Like I said, really try to respect this place, learn about it, be open to learning about it. Costa Rica is so beautiful because the people and the culture is open to you, so be open to it. It's not the kind of place that's gonna laugh at you if you make a mistake in your accent or ask for help for instructions or directions or didn't know, I don't know, the kind of food you were eating and asked what it was. It's very much a place of people that are proud of their country and want to share it. So, if you reciprocate that energy, it's a really beautiful experience overall. Most people struggle when they resist that energy. This is a very community-oriented country, so try to open your minds to that, especially, coming from the US, which is not like that at all. The more you get into it, the better. And the more you can immerse yourself into this country, the better. You'll enjoy it more. You'll appreciate your time here more. You'll get to know each other better more. The less you're immersing into this common ground that you now have, the harder time you'll have, because you'll both, if you have 2 people from different countries and you're stuck in your own country, it's pretty tough. So you might as well be here. Let's see, what else? And then, as for UPEACE, it's really beautiful to have such a mix of people. You'll get to know each other all so well. It's so nice to be at a small place. I also went to a small undergrad, so I was used to that, but not this small. I mean, y'all know each other very, very well. You'll know about each other's families and friends, and you'll be able to look at someone in the corner right now and know that they're having a hard day just from a sigh they let out, and they might not even be your main friend group. Everybody will know each other, which is really beautiful. But just keep that in mind, that's why you came here. You came here for a reason, to be with different people, to be in a different place. You could have stayed and gotten a master's wherever you're from, or gone to a place with people that all look like you and talk like you and have the same beliefs as you, but we all chose a place like this. So when you're having a hard moment and you're frustrated that things are different, or someone's thinking different or saying things different, remember that you asked for that, and that's what we wanted, as hard as it is in the moment. And try to appreciate it and ground yourself in that and see what we can do with it instead of, digging ourselves into a hole. Definitely grounding ourselves in that grace is important. And give yourself that same grace too that you're learning. I remember in my first months here, just moments in class as someone from the US of just immense disappointment and frustration and sadness of myself and my lack of knowledge and my differences of knowledge. That's going to happen for everybody for different reasons, right? We've all learned different things. We've also learned sometimes the same thing very differently. There are wars that are named different names in different countries that when I heard that, it just totally, flipped my head around. And those little things seem so obvious, but it hits hard when you're far away from home and you're with different people and you realize we've all been raised in these very different systems and now we're here trying to make something happen. So ground yourself that we're all here trying to make something happen and figure out a way to do that. And just keep asking questions and loving on each other and loving yourselves that you made it here for, oh my gosh, sorry, Spanish and English, at least. I was gonna say, por lo menos. Yeah, and then the other thing that I'll share a little bit about is just having agency. So this is a small campus. It's a really beautiful small campus and really nice community, but everybody works really hard. Like Angela works so hard. Everybody works really hard, and you work really hard. But everybody's, I don't even want to say is spread too thin, because they're all doing so much and such an amazing job at that, but everybody is doing so much, more than their job's worth, which means that if you want something added or something done in this community, or you'd like to have more support, or you'd like to have more orientation activities, or you'd like to have a get to know you weekend, or you'd like to go on a group retreat or something like that, like, there are people here to support you in making that happen, but you got to do it for yourselves. Like, you got to work together and get those kinds of things done. I think it took our cohort a little bit of a minute to realize that like, we have agency. We all are adults. We're master's students. And the beautiful thing about this place is you have support. Like, we have like I'm sure you saw the mural. It's such a small example, but like the mural in the student lounge. That was something that like the entire year people were like, oh, the student lounge needs a makeover. The student lounge needs a makeover. And then like the last week of school, finally people were like, we're just gonna go buy paint. Like, what are we doing? We can paint this. And the school was like, yeah, you can buy paint. Like, go do it. So just do it. Work together. And you'll find your support systems. You'll see who's your people. People like Angela will always make it happen. There are people on this campus who will really advocate for you and work with you and get creative with you and work with little resources or lots of resources or find new resources. And they'll do it, but you have to do it with them. This is not a place to, just sit and complain and wait for something to happen. I always will say, like, if you sit and you're complaining about something, the first thing to try to ask is like, what have you done to make that change happen? And that goes for like very tangible things like a mural, and also peace. Like, if you're in class and you're frustrated that why isn't this happening in the world, ask yourself, like, what am I doing to make that happen? For anything. So definitely get on that sooner rather than later, especially in terms of like building a foundation for y'all as a community. You'll get tired. Like, it's beautiful to see all your energy. Like, you're all so excited to be here. I love that. The last day I was on campus was graduation. It was like a very similar like excitedness, but also like ready to go and do our thing. So it's a fun to come back to the beginning. But yeah, just really set yourselves up for success. Support each other. Do it early. Do it often. Take advantage, like I said, really just do things. Like, our student council last year for a while was just kind of waiting, like, for someone to set it up, and then someone to like help them have better support, and then help them. And then finally we were like, we have all these resources. Like, I ran a retreat for them one weekend, and then somebody else ran like another kind of dialogue workshop, and then somebody else ran. Like, we realized, like, everything's here. You have it. Like, y'all can do it together. And again, like, if you need a budget, there's the student council budget. If you need the food, there's a cafeteria staff that's like super excited to help. If you don't like the food in the cafeteria, if you go talk to them for like 5 minutes, they'll change the menu with you. You just like, I feel like a dad lecturing right now, but like, step up. I'm talking to myself a year ago, really. Step up and just make the changes. It's totally worth it and doable. And then similarly to what was said before, same it goes with connections. If you're the kind of person, that was something really important to me when I was looking at UPEACE. I was like, am I going to have a network? Like, am I going to network? I'm from the US. We're like big on networking and jobs and capitalism. So I was like, where's the networking? I was all on my LinkedIn, and again, no one's going to hand you a job after this school. It's not how like anything works. But if you go to the brown bags and you go and you talk to your professors and you hear your professors doing research and you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. Can I like hear more about that? And you hear about a PhD student doing something, or, a president comes and talks, and then you like talk to them afterwards about it, it pays off. I live far away, not far away. I live in Poso, Santana. Like, I was always here all day because I'm on the staff bus. And so I'd go to a lot of things, like the brown bags and the talks and the activities and Zumba and all these things, just because I was here. And a lot of people didn't. Most people, after like week 3, everyone's tired, and you eat lunch, and you're just over it, and you go home, and that's it. And then the end of the year comes, and they're like, oh, I have no network. I need an internship, and I don't know anybody. But, I know people. Like, just you have to go. You have to meet people, you have to make connections, you have to write down emails, you have to show face. It's those kinds of things will keep popping up. So it's 1 year, it's an intense year, it's a tiring year, but it's 1 year. And like by the end of the year, there's a lot of sentiment around the group of like, wow, I should have done more. I should have gone to more, I should have been around more, I should have taken, appreciated it more. So just, take care of yourselves, but enjoy it and go to things and talk to people. Yeah, I think that's pretty much my like mom dad lecture moment. So I can pause there. I am not one to just talk at people. It's like so not Peace Ed. You'll learn. But if anyone has any questions or things they want to hear more about or things from orientation that they're confused about or wondering what's relevant, I'm happy to answer them. Like I said, I'll be at lunch too, but anything? Yeah. Yeah. I can repeat it too.
Yeah, because I think we're.
I was just wondering, if you have the power to change anything, what would you change and why?
Like in the world? Oh, I was like, oh. It's like, oh man. It's like, man, put me in class. Okay, so she asked, what if I could change anything at UPEACE, what would I change and why? Oh man. Honestly, well, here's the thing. One thing is peace education, like not to keep, sorry, we do this, but peace education is a really cool program because it is a lot about change making. And we did a lot of change making for y'all. You're welcome. But we did a lot in that hut back there. We would sit, we would electively, outside of class, spend hours a week with our professor and have these beautiful ceremonies and hang out and talk about how this school could be better and then how we could do it. We would rant for probably 30 minutes about things that were frustrating us. And there were some really intense moments where people would get really frustrated, and then one of us would be like, all right, what are we gonna do? What's next? And we actually did a lot. And it's not to be arrogant or anything, but it goes back to this idea of you can make change. So realistically, I'm excited to see what this school is for y'all. This feels like such a political answer, but there really isn't that much that I would change at this moment. There were things that I wanted changed. We were really frustrated. Our cohort was hybrid. That was really difficult. It was frustrating. Technology was hard. We had a really hard time with just interpersonal conflict with talking about complex issues in a hybrid environment is not conducive for peace building. I could write a thesis on that. And that was a huge thing where we talked to the school about next year that shouldn't happen. And I don't think y'all are hybrid. So things like that, right? But just change them. I wanted the student lounge to be nicer. It is. I wish I changed my mindset coming in too. I think I expected a lot of things to be regimented and here's the rules and we're gonna follow them, and I used to be a very grades oriented person and things like that, and that's not how this school works, and that's okay, and I should have just been more open to that instead of trying to change those things. I know that was a total political answer, but hopefully that helps. Yeah.
I think that's been mentioned a couple of times before, the brown bag. Mm-hmm. What exactly is that again?
Yeah, it's just, the reason they call them brown bags, it's just a talk at lunch. It's at noon is usually why, and you can bring your lunch to eat it. So it's back
in the bag.
Yeah, back in the day, people ate lunch out of brown bags. So, yeah, usually they're in here, people eat and you listen. And then if you that's where usually people are running to the bus after and just want to get off campus, but there's always 5 people that will stay and talk to the person, shake their hand. We have really cool people come. My orientation, we had the president of Columbia speak to us. It's pretty cool. And, people were pretty ready to go home instead of grounding ourselves in what an amazing moment that was, so, yeah.
What's your favorite extracurricular activity that you've done in Costa Rica over the program?
Oh my God, okay. The The Zumba's awesome. Like, totally go to Zumba. That's so cool too. Like that's free. And again, like now a year out, I'm like, damn, I wish I could go to Zumba every week. I did not go every week. Wish I could. I'll probably come up on campus just for that. There's also, I grew up riding horses, and there's a little barn around the corner. It's not even a barn. It's super cool. Sometimes you'll be in class, this woman just like lets her horses out, and they'll run past the campus, and their paddocks are like back there, so they just like, they just like go to bed, and you'll watch them, like no rope, they're just out. But she's super cool. If anyone likes to ride horses, I used to take groups, like we'd walk from campus after lunch, go take a 2-hour ride, come back and take the buses home. Like that was awesome. So that was a really cool after school extracurricular. It's like the most affordable horseback riding I've ever done in my life. So, super reasonable, super fun. You'll notice right now too, I guess this is like super obvious for me, but like it's not very nice weather. So I don't know if any of you were expecting to come to like, I don't know, tropical paradise and, go tan right away. We're in rainy season. It's winter right now in like the heat of it. Just know in like December-ish, we'll see how this year goes, maybe November. Summer starts, and it's the opposite. So right now, y'all are gonna start to see like every day it's gonna rain, like more and more. Every day it's gonna rain from, maybe you've heard this, but like from, I don't know, 3 p.m. on. It's gonna start to rain every day, more and more, and flood, and it's just gonna be rainy, and that's great. And then in December until pretty much you graduate, it won't rain at all, 0 rain. And you'll wish it was raining. Like super hot, super dry, hard to breathe, fires, it's hot and dry. And it's awesome. Like then all day you get to do whatever you want, so just be aware of that change. A lot of people are frustrated with the rain for a while, and then they wish it was raining. So appreciate the rain. For now, like for this time of the year, do a lot of those things in the morning, wake up and go do your things. It never rains in the morning, or almost never. And then in the summertime, like it's all day, it's dry. So it's totally different vibe. You can plan your day completely differently and do more things. So I know that wasn't your question, but any other questions? Yeah.
Okay, I have the mic here.
He asked about extracurricular.
Uh-huh.
How about curricular stuff? Like,
Yeah.
what did you most enjoy about your course?
Like classes?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so ours, one thing that I really appreciated about my program was we had different classes with different people at times. There was some mixing, which is really cool. Take advantage of that, like getting to hear from different people. And other programs, it's a lot of the same class with the same people, which is fine, but different experience. And you'll start to realize very quickly how much. No, not very quickly. You'll realize later how much you learned, is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes in class, it might feel like, I've already learned this before, or this is obvious, or why, like what was said before, like why would we have to explain this to someone out of peace school? Just like humble yourselves, like me too, all of us, like humble ourselves in those moments, because I have a friend who, while she was here, had a really hard time, like with a lot of moments. She was just like, why are we learning this and not this? Why is this not about this? Why are we not talking about this? Why are we talking about this? Why is this class, like just having a hard time wrapping her head around it. And she was grateful and like did her best, and like she's my best friend. She's awesome, love her to death. But she called me like 2 weeks ago, and she's like, Abby, I have to admit it, like I'm finally starting to appreciate this school. And like, she's like, I learned a lot. And she's in her internship right now. She's like, I learned a lot. And you don't realize how much learning. It's very internal, it's very soft skills, it's a lot of really important soft skills. My relationship with my family has improved because of what I've learned at this school, because I've learned how to get along better with them. Never would have thought. I've been in therapy for 10 years, y'all, like, come on. I mean, school got my family back together. So, not trying to put that on all y'all, but seriously, you learn a lot. You just don't always appreciate it in the moment, because it's not like you're learning math. I teach math. You're not learning math. You're not seeing the progress right away. But you see yourself grow as a person a lot, really quickly. And so in a year from now, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh, wow, I was in a very different place back then. Just trust the process and appreciate that in the academic moments, and expand your mind, be open, trust that the material you're learning, even if it seems like you've seen it before, someone's going to make a comment that you haven't heard before, or someone might bring a perspective that you haven't even considered or whatever, and then you have to challenge yourself. So it's definitely rigorous in a different way. Yeah. Anything else?
If you don't have any more questions, I have one question for you, and anyone who wants to answer, just please ask for the mic. What are your expectations about UPEACE? What brought you here, and what are you expecting from the university, or from here until you graduate? What are you expecting? What do you want to learn? What do you want to do, to change about your life, about your professional, academic, personal life? Whatever you want to express. Anyone?
That's a good question.
Yes, yes.
I think it's going to be a pretty standard answer, but so I'm from Europe, and I just wanted to get out of sort of the Western kind of thinking. I wanted to get to somewhere international where multiple perspectives are considered, and the networking thing as well. I mean, it's a slimy word, network, but you do need people who think the same, who have sort of similar goals to actually move something in this world, and I think this university is the best place for that. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very important. Anyone else? I'm sure you have a lot to say. Don't be shy. Okay, I have her, and then you.
I think it complements what he said, because I'm from Brazil, so I'm from South, the global South, and I think I'm eager to put the global South out there. And also looking at the phrase, like, if you want peace, work for peace, I'm looking for that professionalization, is that how you say it? Like becoming someone who works, not only wants peace. I think learning how to become a professional is someone. I'm looking at that internship, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Thanks. I think my expectation really mirrors what Abby has been talking about. Like, kind of, my expectation is more that I will learn a lot about myself in the process of all of this. Like, I hope to uncover many stereotypes that I didn't even know I had, and then debunk them gradually, or learn things that I didn't even know that I needed to learn to then be able to reflect on them. Like, I think there will just be so much reflection on my own views and principles that I have, and that's my expectation, that there will be a lot of reviewing that I'll do internally, but that is something that will be kind of triggered by this international environment. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, before I give her the mic, I just want to say that we have this student. She had a almost terrible experience. She was petrified before arriving here to UPEACE. She was at the airport. She was not given an entry to Costa Rica, and then she called. She flew back, and then she's finally here. So that is an example of persistence, and that anything that you want, you can just achieve it just by being patient, by being persistent, and by just doing the right things. So I'm going to pass the mic right now.
Thank you so much. Hey, actually, I just Hira. It's Hira. Yeah, it's Pakistan. Actually, I am here for. I feel I am individually a society. If I go in my society, I make the other societies. So I bring peace in my inner. If I'm not innerly just pushed with the peace and these good things in me, I can't change the society. So for the changing of society and minorities and other women, I just learn first myself about that, how to change myself first, then bring change to society. What I feel is wrong in my area or anything where I go, anywhere where I go, I feel like it's wrong there. I can't change that until I don't know how to change myself. So first I need to change myself, my inner, and sometimes we know, sometimes we get that someone is doing wrong there, but we don't get there how to correct that person. So I feel the education is the key, which can make that person, make that society change. So I need to get that level of education which can change the societies.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow.
So yeah, you cannot change people, but you can make people change by showing what you have to show them. I don't know if I got you all mixed up, but just make the change by doing it yourself, and then other people will be inspired by what you show. If they give you hate, give them love, and that people at some point will say, hey, why do I hate that girl if she loves me so much? That's just one example, but there's so many things that we can do to change the world and to change people's perspective.
Yeah, no, it's true. Someone, God, I wish Stephanie was here. Stephanie, in peace education, like, we talk a lot about self-actualization and inner peace and inner being and wholeness, and there's a lot of really good, like, bell hooks and Teach Nat Han work that talks a lot about, like, that it's the I have the quote on my phone from, like, the first day of class, that it's the work of any kind of healer or peacemaker or change maker, and the responsibility and the duty of us, that if we want to go and cause peace for others, that we first need to have peace internally, and we first need to work on ourselves. And that, like, I was like, man, I needed to be called out by that, because I was a very stressed, chaotic person at the time and needed to, work on that, clearly, which is good. So, yeah, really amazing. I mean, all of you are going to do such amazing things here, truly. And continuing to have that open-mindedness to reflect and grow and work and just be open. And I think you'll have a class. Is Professor Abdallah coming for foundations?
He might be coming. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he's coming.
Okay, well, he'll
I'll have
always
to ask Shirley about that.
Okay, he'll
Yeah.
always say, like, if you're coming here looking for answers, like, you're at the wrong place, which I think is so good, actually, for life. Like, if you're looking for answers or you're looking for, like, a checklist, like, some people, even at the end of the year, were still like, well, what's the right answer? Like, what's the right thing? Or if I want a restorative justice circle to work, what steps do I need to follow? And, like, there's no checklist for peace. If there was, we'd have it. And, like, my friend Tim used to always say, like, peace is crazy. Like, he's from Hawaii and, like, Las Vegas, so, but he's like, peace is so crazy, like, it's never existed. We're trying to create something that's never existed, so we better, like, we gotta stop asking people for instructions, like, it doesn't exist. I'm like, yeah, dog, like, it doesn't. So, yeah, you start realizing that, and yeah, oh my God, so you'll go on a journey. From brain will do a lot of work, but it's good. I'm gonna also, there's no whiteboard in here. Sad. I'll give everyone my contact in some way. Maybe I'll put it, in the back, thank you. I'll put my phone number for WhatsApp. If you need anything ever, if you want to add me to your group chat, feel free. If not, that can be your sacred space. Let me know. Either way, you can always add me and kick me out. It can be helpful. We had alumni in ours. Just if anything comes up, even silly little things of, like, I got to go to the doctor, where do I go? I mean, I've been living in this country now a few years as not someone from here. My partner being from here helps a lot. I speak the language, obviously, so if anything ever comes up and you need a resource, feel free to reach out. Hopefully you can get that vibe from my personality. I mean that. I help a lot of people in this country figure things out. So yeah, feel free to reach out for anything. If you need help, questions, if things come up on campus. I'm sure I'll be around sometimes, but I don't live super close, so I come when I can. I live like 15 minutes away. Let's not be crazy, but it's Costa Rica, so that 15 minutes can be an hour and a half, if you never know. So feel free to text me, add my number, save it. I'll write it back there. And then I'll be at lunch if you have anything else come up, questions, or just want to chat. I'm so excited for all of you. It's going to be really good. And I'll be in this country, so I'll probably see you all graduate. That's so cool. Okay.
Well, thank you, Abby. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for helping out answering questions. If you have more questions for Abby, and if you would like to share that with her, just ask. She will write her contact in the back on the whiteboard. I can share other information that you need to share with students that you might have forgotten right now. So yes, thank you again for just being open, for listening to Abby.